Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about financial literacy. This is just the basics, just because I feel like a lot of people need help with certain things. If the video doesn't apply, that's okay. But we're gonna go over certain things to be able to zone in on what we need help with. So we're gonna start off with, what is debt? Debt is money that you owe, that you have borrowed. Usually people borrow money when they don't have enough to pay for something that they want or they need. If you borrow money, it's best to have a plan on how you're going to pay it back. Now, having the idea of debt is really difficult for people. And for many people, it's easy because that's just a way of being. That's a way of existing, because that's what this generation has been taught. Previous generations, being in debt was just unfathomable, right? And we'll talk a little bit about the history of debt and different generations, how they view it and stuff like that. But the idea of living within your means is spending less or equal to what you earn, and it can help you manage stress, save money, and achieve financial stability. Financial stability looks different for different people, but most people that feel financially stable have little to zero debt. And we'll talk about what little to zero debt means as far as being financially stable in other videos, but that's just an overall view. People always talk about credit scoring. Most people that have little to no debt don't worry about credit scoring. Why? Because it has to do with how much credit you have versus how much credit you've used. So credit scoring is only important if you're going to get into debt, if you want to borrow money, because based on how well your credit score is how expensive it's going to be to borrow that money. So if you're trying to get out of debt, I wouldn't even worry about it, because as you will see, once you start paying off your debts in full, you will notice an improvement in your credit scoring. These are just some ways that people borrow money. I'm just going to list a couple. Actually, it's quite a bit. Credit cards, personal loans, home equity, personal lines of credit, retirement loans, credit cards, cash advances, online lenders, peer-to-peer lending, buy now, pay later. A lot of people are doing that right now. But anyway, credit unions, friends and family, pawn shops, payday loans, banks, etc. And we'll talk about how each one of these use interests, the different kind of interests, and how people see them versus how they actually work. And a lot of people don't understand that, so it's helpful to be able to understand how some of these actually work. Do I advocate borrowing money when you don't have it? No. Is it your decision? 100% yes. I advocate for budgeting. Budgeting to pay off the debt and save for what you want to afford. You say, I can't afford it. Okay, that's okay. But you can afford it if you save for it in the future. Delayed gratification is so hard because you want it now, but it's so beneficial. And we'll talk about delayed gratification and its scientific effects in another video. That one is absolutely amazing. I have so many things I want to talk about with you guys. But okay, so is there anything wrong with wanting that cruise for the Caribbean? No, just save for it and have it paid off before you go on the cruise. You will enjoy it differently. Why? Because how you see money and debt has a lot to do with if you have it. If you have a lot of money, you don't have to worry about debt because you won't be in debt. If you're in debt, you don't have a lot of money and it makes you feel bogged down. So I want you to do me a favor. Stop this video after I ask these 2 questions and write it down on paper so that you understand your psychology, because you're watching this video, I don't know what you're going to answer. Unless you're actually doing coaching calls with me, I will not know this answer. And these are some of the questions that I ask during the coaching calls because it's important for me. It's important for me to understand and to know so that I can help you help yourself. So ask yourself, write it down. Remember, write it down. How does money make me feel? And why? Then ask yourself, how does debt make you feel? Is there a difference, or are they linked both to a negative connotation? I'm going to move this over because I'm reading here. In this series, I'm going to talk about some of the things that can help you understand the basics of finance and walk you through how we can begin to see your views of debt and money differently. Also, to dream. And to dream big. I want you to be able to see these dreams as something that's totally reachable. Because you know what? They are. They are. You just have to plan it. When you plan, then something is moving you forward, right? But knowing is half the battle. Being able to plan it is great. But if you don't put that plan into fruition, then nothing will happen. So success will rely largely on how you want your dream, how much you want it, and how committed you are really to yourself. I will be 100% committed to you if you allow me, but you have to commit to yourself. You have to commit to want the dream bad enough to make those hard decisions, to make those sacrifices. Because when you say yes to something, you say no to something else. When you say yes to your dreams, you're saying no to being bogged down. When you're saying yes to be able to save, you're saying no to debt. Is it easy? No. Will it be difficult? Yes. Is it your decision? 100%. Will I help you? Only if you let me. Okay? So hopefully we'll be able to continue learning about each other, about ourselves, and moving forward to making those dreams come true. Have a good one.